When I first started experimenting with transparent papers, I had no idea deli paper and medical exam paper would become my favorites. Let me show you why. Oh, welcome back, friends. So today, my transparent paper stash is getting a little bit light. Not really. It's just my favorite ones are disappearing because I use them so often. So I'm going to show you today some of my favorites that I just absolutely love to make. And that we're going to be using some Payne's Gray, some Indian Yellow, some quinacridone red, surprise, surprise, and even carbon black. So let's get started. Okay, so today we're gonna work on two different kinds of transparent papers, my two favorite. So this is the one here on the right is a deli paper. I'm going to put a picture of the Amazon listing on the screen because it used to say deli paper. I think it still does somewhere on there, but now they're calling it tracing paper. And even I went to the link one day, this was months ago, and I was like, what? What? They changed it? I was devastated, but it was the same thing. I ordered it anyway, and it's exactly the same paper. It's not waxy on either side. It's not folded in half. It comes flat like this. It's about a 9¼ by 13, something like that, or 9.5 by 13. Great paper for picking up. As you can see, it just like clings to the plate. It's really fabulous. And glues down really well. Works really, my favorite. What can I say? Now, medical exam table. This is the paper that they put down on the table. This is a nice one. I don't know that it's a specific brand. It's also on Amazon. I will put the link in the description for both of these papers. This one is wider, as you can see. It's I don't know. It's about the same. A little bit bigger. I like this particular one because it's not 15 inch or it's not 18 inches wide. Like a lot of the medical exam papers are very wide, and then you have this like paper that you got to deal with. You've got to cut it down to fit your plate. Now this is still a lot bigger than my plate, and sometimes I patchwork with this. And it's a very sturdy paper. It's rough on one side, and it's smooth on the other. And it does have a sort of more, it's not as clear as the other one. It's a more mottled look, like a textured look to it. But it goes completely transparent. It's pretty fantastic. So I bought this box. This is supposed to be like a parchment paper kitchen box, you know. It's got the blade, and it just helps me cut the papers because it comes on a roll, where the deli papers come flat and they're already cut to size. So these I just randomly pull out and cut and, you know, create a bunch before I get started. That way I already have them, all right? I will put a link to this too if you think it's made out of bamboo. It wasn't that expensive. I think it was worth it because I'm lazy. I don't want to have to like deal with this roll that's rolling all over the table, and I'm trying to cut paper and it's coming out all jagged. So this way gives me an easier way to you know, cut my papers and get them ready. So this other paper, this deli paper, I just leave it in this little basket. I keep it in my drawer. My favorite papers to have for transparent. So what we're going to do today, we're going to do a lot of Payne's Gray, and I might also use some black. There's some black, and even, you know, I've got purple. I don't know if that's going to work too well, but we shall try it. Now, another thing that I like to do with transparent papers is cardboard. So I have this one that I made a couple months ago. I'm going to use this to make some transparent papers. I'm going to use rubber bands, and I might, you know, with the rubber bands it leaves a nice ghost, so I may pull out some rice paper to pick up the ghost. And here's the same thing with these little rubber bands that I love when you're working with transparent papers. So I also pulled out some, this is the sketch paper, Yasachoma sketch paper, in case we want to pick up the ghost. My plate has some stuff on it, but we're not gonna worry about it. So I'm going to start with my favorite, which is the cardboard. For the transparent papers, I really love it. It just comes in handy when I'm working on my art. And these papers are probably some of the easiest papers to make. So the paper's very thin, so I let it like kind of settle in the middle and start from the middle and smooth out. That way I don't get any wrinkles. I think my plate was a little dirtier than I thought, but that's okay. Nice grungy paper, right? Oh yeah, we might need to clean the plate a little bit. Or turn it over. Yeah, see how much we left? I'm gonna stop and clean, but look at, but I also do love that. Like, we got some interesting things happen because of the grunge that was on the plate. So I haven't mentioned, but you should stay to the end because we are definitely, I'm going to show you how I use these papers in collage. Okay, I'm going to try this again. I wasn't unhappy with the last one, but let's go for it anyway. So far we're still going to work with Deli paper. A lot cleaner, as you can see. There's going to be a time for either one of them, you know. Sometimes I'll want the grungier one, sometimes I want the cleaner one. It's still grungy. It's the nature of cardboard texture. But now that our plate is doesn't have a lot of dried paint on it, we're going to get a better result. And you'll see that this paper also picks up very quickly, but I am leaving little marks on the plate, but that's fine. Look at how nice that one is. And that one. And now let's try, I also love black. And in this case, we're going to do rubber bands. Okay. So I love the odd, crazy shapes that I get with the rubber bands. just love it. You got to kind of get in between there. And it's okay if it's wrinkled a little. I was a little heavy-handed with the black paint. Love, love, love those designs. All right, I'm gonna try to pick up some more. Clean this up a bit. I didn't need nearly as much black as I used. But look at how, oh my goodness. Look at how interesting that is. Wow. Never thought to do that before. But anyway, fun. So we are towards the end. We are going to, I am going to show you how I use these papers in my work. And I don't know, let's just try to pick this up. It's almost, I don't know, it might be too dry. All right, I have to wait until it completely dries, and then I'm going to pick it up with another color. All right, so we're going to pick it up with quinacridone red. Now sometimes the black reactivates and smears and muddies up the color. And again, I put too much down. Beautiful color. You see, you kind of want to, see the layer below through. All right, we're going to use our rice paper for this. I'm going to wait 2 minutes. Hopefully I will have a clean plate. I don't want any black residue because next we're going to use a comb and some lighter paints. Okay, so I left this a full 2 minutes to dry on the plate because I wanted to make sure I really got it. That's pretty nice. Not transparent though. So as you could see, the black sometimes leaves residue on the plate. We're going to keep going though. Maybe it'll take care of itself. I'm going to use quinacridone purple next because my plate, I want my plate to be a little cleaner when I do the Indian yellow. And we didn't show you the smaller rubber bands, so let's do that now. Try a little less paint this time. I was a little heavy-handed. I'm going to put a couple of these in over here on this side, and then I'm going to use one of the medical exam papers. It's a lot of fun. I'm going to try to pick this up quickly. With another sheet. See if it'll pick up. Oops. No, it's not going to pick up. It picked up some of it. Kind of interesting. Now I don't know how good this is going to work with the thin papers, but we could try. So since that paint dried, and I still like it and want it to be on transparent paper, I'm using a little matte medium. I'm going to try to pick this up. It's still feeling very wet, so I'm going to let it dry a little bit. Oh yeah. Fabulous. So it is still transparent, but it has some color back there that mixed in with the matte medium. But that is gorgeous. Some parts of this are really beautiful. I think maybe my plate might be clean enough to do the Indian yellow, so let's try. I'm going to show you a technique that I love to do with my color shaper. Okay, so this is a color shaper. This one is from Artist Loft, and I have a comb that I love. And I also love this catalyst. This is the W03, and this makes similar marks to the comb. So I'm going to show you how fabulous these medical exam papers come out. Now, as you can see, this is a very transparent color. This is the Indian yellow. This one happens to be Nova Color. Golden makes it a beautiful transparent Indian yellow as well. It's gorgeous color. So here's my favorite thing. I just like making stripes with it. And here, I'm going to put this They don't have to be perfect. If you get wrinkles, that would be nice too. I'm overlaying a little bit of this other so you can really see what happens when you are overlaying two. Look at how gorgeous. Look at how gorgeous. All right, so now we have, it's gorgeous. And I'm going to pick up the rest with the Deli. This sometimes really cleans up the plate a little bit. If I don't get it all, that's fine. I'll let it. But you know, even that is fun. All right, so I'm going to lay down a little bit more of this. So you'll see, this is very similar. And then you could just do a design down the middle. Now my paper, this is one of the defective packs that I got. So the paper's kind of like wrinkled over here and down the middle over here. but that might kind of make it interesting, so I'm just going to go for it. Happy accident, maybe. Let's see what the color shaper does. Gorgeous. All right, so now I'm going to like clean this up a little bit. Just a little. Because I want to switch colors. I want to go back to Payne's Gray to really show you what the color shaper can do. Look at that Cora. Indian yellow. So one of the artists here the other day was working with adding, she was mixing turmeric with water, and she was using it on the canvas, and she was getting this color. And I said to her, now we know why they call it Indian yellow. It was so true. Okay, back to Payne's Gray, because this technique with the color shaper, I'm going to clean this off. It looks really good with darker paint. So I just like to, I've done this before, so you might have seen this, but you just kind of lightly skim over the surface. Just let it, you know, let it decide for itself what it wants to do. And if you put this on a Deli paper, oof. Yeah, so this is definitely my favorite ways of using these papers. Now with the, I just want you to see, with medical exam paper, you can even layer it and you can still get some transparency as long as the paints that you're using to layer it are also transparent. So now we have a really grungy plate. Let's see how this, if we can pick this up. We've got a nice green going on. So maybe we can get that with, I'm so sorry that I am like leaving my sentence open-ended. I'm not good at talking and creating art at the same time. It's very wet. It's kind of interesting. All right, so let's put this is the quinacridone red. And I'm going to go right over this. Quinacridone red is also very transparent. And this is going to be more mask-like going to see, but because they're both transparent, we'll probably get an orange. They're both very wet. It's very wet right now. Oh, it's not really orange, but it's a warmer red than it actually is. It's very pretty. And it's still going to have some transparency to it. I'll show you that later. Since this already has some color on it, let's just try to pick it up with that. The dark parts will maybe give some added interest. I love this section right here. So when you see, I'm gonna pick this up also with the Indian yellow because I want to keep the transparency. Oh, I got wrinkled again. So I am loving my brayer sheet. This area right here is kind of exciting, and boy is that a brilliant red. Okay. All right, so let's clean up the desk and switch over to Collage, because I just want you to see how fabulous this can be, and maybe we'll use this to work off of since it's so fabulous. Before we move on to how I use these papers, let me see, are you subscribed to my channel? You know, like if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe, because it really does help boost my channel. Give me a like, comment, ask me a question. I try to answer everybody. There's some weeks when I get a little behind, but I do try to answer everybody. And in my membership, if you become a member for only $2.99 a month, I definitely answer all of those questions. So, and or comments, any kind of comment. Let's become friends, right? And then also there's this new thing in YouTube where you can hype my video. I think that's within the first 24 hours. I'm not really sure, 24, 48 hours, but it's only after I've first posted. And not posted early for the members, but posted on Sunday morning at 11:30 Eastern Standard Time. So like on Sunday, if you're watching the video on Sunday, give me a hype. I don't know what that hype button does. It's brand new, but maybe it'll help. Need to boost the channel a little bit, okay? Anyway, let's move on, and I'll show you how I use these papers. So I just want you to see how fantastic it is to work with. So this is the Deli paper, and we've got this wonderful stripe, but I do like this centerpiece in here. This is really interesting. I'm gonna cut some of that. All right, so let's play with this a little bit. Now, if I tried to cover this over this really dark area, it's not going to go very transparent. This area that doesn't have any paint is still going to be milky. But I want you to see Maybe this isn't a good example. Let's go over this area right here. So you see how these little dots that were underneath are coming through? And look at how transparent the rest of it went. Now it's more noticeable when you've got a darker color. So let's, I definitely want to try this because this was so fantastic. So I try to take off some of the part that doesn't have any. Okay, my camera keeps stopping the recording. So hopefully you got this. I'm not so sure you did, but anyway, I'm going to try with another dark sheet. I'm going to try to go over the red so you can see how that looks. Like that. Am I still recording? Yes. Now see, as soon as I put the gloss medium down over it, it darkens the blue, that Payne's gray, the red shows through, the yellow shows through. That's what I love. Now if I wanted to, let's say we had some red over here, which we don't. And let's also put another color. Let's just might have overdid it. Okay, and we have to let this dry. I just wanted something colorful that you could see the colors shining through. Okay, so you can see that that is very transparent. Okay, so that is going to most definitely show color through it. Same thing with this. We might use a piece of this as that dries. Now these two I layered. So these are two layers, but you could see it's still transparent. So if you lay it over something else, it's going like this. See this dark part right here is showing through. When I put the gel medium, it's going to show through even more. Same thing like over here, that's going to show through. Same thing with that. Look at how transparent that is. And I could even layer that over that. So these are why I like these really thin papers when I'm working in collage. You could see the lines of my table are showing through. So if I overlay this on something, it's going to show through. All right, let's see if this is dry enough. Almost. Okay, let me see. Do I have something here that might be interesting? Just this one little piece. So see what happens when I hit it with the gel medium? Now this is just demonstration. I'm not making a composition here, but I just want you to see. See how the blue, the Payne's gray, is really getting darker as I'm here. It dried almost black. This one was black, and this one was black. And you could also have some white. So where the white background is, it's showing white. But it's showing that beautiful teal through the paper. So this is, you know, why I love working with this so much. This is medical exam paper. Now, some people say you have to wet it before you glue it down, and that may be true. Hasn't been my experience, but since this isn't a layered one, I usually use the medical exam paper for the ones that are more layered. So let's wet it just for the sake of, I'm gonna see. All right, and then we're gonna put it over here. Can't get any better than that, right? Both of these papers are fabulous. Just play with it, because let me tell you, I had never done this before, where it was the second print on a rubber band pole. Like, really, it looks so organic. I love it. Okay, so I want to show you how I use this in my art. Now you might recognize the shadow to the left and right of this woman. Those are cardboard papers. So on this one, I used only medical exam paper, and I overlaid them. So as you can see, there's like more than one color on each layer. Every triangle is a medical exam paper. The white papers are actually Deli papers with a very light dusting of white on them. Now here is where I use my rubber band papers. The color that you see underneath the rubber band openings are what do you call it? Acrylic inks that I put on the canvas. So this is how I use it in my art. So I find the transparent papers to be very important and highly effective, and you should try to incorporate them into your work. I do think you will love it. These two papers that make transparent collage paper are my favorites. Yes, you could use wet strength tissue as well. I just don't happen to have any right now. And these are my favorites. Like, why would I also have wet strength tissue? It's not necessary. been using a lot of the medical exam paper lately, but I'm almost always, when I'm picking up from a stencil and I want the ghost, when I'm really going for the ghost, I am always using the Deli paper because I get the cleanest pulls. So I get a nice, inside those little openings inside the stencil, I get a nice clean pull. And then I have all these fabulous bonus, I call them bonus papers. They're my transparent bonus papers. So my box of transparent papers is very full, but it isn't always my go-to. So the one with the cardboard is something I frequently use in my work along in Payne's Gray, exactly that combination that I showed you. You know, the one with the color shaper is also becoming a thing for me now. That guitar that I showed you was done with the comb. I did a lot of the comb in that one on the medical. The entire guitar was done with medical exam paper, and it just melted. It was like it melted into the canvas. It was fabulous. So that's another reason why I like these papers, is they collage so well. They just become one with the canvas. So if you haven't tried either one of these, definitely give them. It makes the whole gel press plate printing process so easy. And if it is collage paper that you're going for, these are fabulous. I even just sometimes paint on the Deli paper, with just black paint and a brush, and I use that in on top of other gorgeous colors in a painting. So I hope this inspired you to give these papers a try and then try using them in your collage. So don't forget to create, inspire, and share, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.